Wow, it's been a while, guys. All right, I'm back. We're going to get into it really quickly. I'm going to do a different video to explaining what is going on, what has happened since I last saw you that's not here. Today, we're going to continue the talk about finding your own system planner, however you want to call it. And first and foremost, today is we're nearing the end of July, and I didn't plan it, but it occurred. Perfect timing. Hobonichi is launching their 2027, yes, I did say 2027 planners. A lot of companies will start in August to launch their products. When Hobonichi does this, this is when I sit down and figure out next year's planning system. See what works, what didn't work, everything like that. And you're going to see that I've already made one change, but let's go ahead and dive in. This is going to be talking about mainly the fact that every year, the planning community system, the people creating the products, the big companies that are creating the products, like to have a hook. That hook this year is the Techo Kaigi, and you hear it, see it everywhere. But I have noticed that a lot of people really gloss over what that means. They're just doing these silly pictures of them holding all of their books and saying Techo Kaigi. All right. Some of the plannings, I'm not, let me rephrase. I'm not saying everybody's silly. Please pardon me on that term. I think the images that everybody has to copy everybody else is what is silly, because everybody is trying to take advantage of what the first person did. Right now, all I want to take advantage of is explaining to you what this means. What this means. Techo means planning. So Techo Kaigi is a Japanese term. And for all of those who have corrected me on some of my pronunciations, I'm going to go ahead and apologize right now. I am really bad with pronunciation. So when my dyslexic eyes and brain see something, doesn't matter how many times I try or have somebody show me, tell me, I repeat to them, I still butcher the wording. So apologies right now. From here, Techo in Japanese is planning, but it's not just the word planning. All of the word terminology in Japan is by feeling. It is not just a word. So the feeling of Techo is not just planning, it's planning with self. In other words, you're planning with yourself. This is not planning with a community, a group, your board, everybody that is doing everything for work or whatever. It is self-planning. And then Kaigi is meeting. So what does that mean as in a feeling? Again, it is a self-meeting. That's why these two words work so well with this. Techo Kaigi, you are having a self-planning meeting. And again, this is for no one else. This is for you. This is not for you to share with everyone. And everybody has their own way of creating their Techo Kaigi. This is my way. And if at anything it helps you to land or start the figuring out of your own self-planning meeting, that's great. Now, for me, I have meetings with myself in the first thing when I wake up and the last thing before I go to bed. And then I'll have, while working, little tiny ones because maybe something took longer than I expected to, or I got interrupted because while I was working on something, I had a either aha moment or oh my gosh moment. And the oh my gosh moment means I have to fix something. The aha moment means I squirreled off onto another idea. Just an explanation. Back to this. So, what did I start with at the beginning of the year as my Techo Kaigi? This is what I started. This is my hardbound A5 vertical complete common planner that is new out this year for 2026 with Sterling ink. I also purchased their full year common planner soft cover, which is the normal one in the A5 vertical. What is the difference? This one has been with Sterling ink from the beginning. It goes from your goals, tracking, everything like that, into your months, into the vertical weeks, and into notes, which I break them down into my days. And because I only use this for the most part, I don't do a daily system for the most part for work. What I do is I have a project system, which is what made this work well for my work projects to take notes, meeting notes, things like that. As July came forward, I found that I really wasn't. I was doing a lot of brain dumping in here, which is a great thing for what this is. And brain dumping means you have a lot of ideas going on. A lot of planners out there will say, "I got a brain dump," and it's because they just received a whole bunch of information for schooling, vacation, anything like that, maybe for their kids, for their family. For me, when it comes to work, the brain dumping is what I want to be doing for my company, with my company, moving forward on the company, anything like that. So that's what I've been doing, but I'm noticing I'm not really pulling this. I happenstance was pulling this out, which is plotter system, and this is the Bible size, which is I think also considered a personal size. And I have folders in here for different projects, but I've been putting notes in here from brain dumping and everything. And I was trying to figure out why, and I believe it's because it's the size. Yes, I love A5 for memory keeping, but for work, no. Last year I found that the B5 didn't work. B5 is just a little bit smaller than a normal size paper. Was wound up being too big. And I found that out when I accidentally poured my coffee over it and had to redo the book. So the other thing that I was finding is I was grabbing my business book to add stuff in, and I realized I really love the Traveler's Notebook size for work. Now, Sterling ink did not have any of the common planners, the regular common planners, left in stock. But the cool thing is everybody is getting ready for their 2027 planners. Even if they launched like this one, this is the Academic Daily Planner. Everybody's doing sales. And they're not just regular sales, they're like 60% off sales. So I got this one at 60% off a few weeks ago. And I have, which is honestly perfect. This is a half year, well, not half year, it starts halfway through the year. So this one starts in July. So there is no backfilling. Yeah, I was not into doing the backfilling. So the only backfilling I actually did was for June. This started in July. I did a little bit for June, and that was done. So this is July now, and you can see here compared to July. Well, here, even here, June. There's June. There's June. Yeah. So July. Let's see what I did in July in here. Yeah. No. But here, and I didn't get this until the second week of July. And you saw what was in the other one. So this has been worked so much better for me, as well as in my work one, I tend to write smaller than in my memory keeping. So here's August already set up, ready and working for me. And for the most part, you're going to notice I do not do a lot of decorating. I will do a vellum from what's left over in my kit. And do you see this? I will throw a little bit of things here and there, but this is for work. This is for ideas, for brain dump, sketch dump, for what I'm working on presently, which I will go into that again later. So with that said, this is what I'm doing and working in daily. Now, earlier I picked up and showed you my Bible plotter. Now, I want to explain a few things. This stays on my desk. And now that I have transferred into the traveler's notebook, or in one size of the daily planner, which is the academic planner. Sorry, the cover, it's so shiny, but this is a Lauren Phelps, and it's supposed to be 4 planners that you put into a traveler's notebook, cover with the bands. I just grabbed it. It was first thing right there to put a cover on here. Anyway, since I have transferred into this, I'm not picking this up for everyday use, which means it is not my Techo Kaigi collection. Why do I say that? Well, in here, in each of these little project envelopes, I have ideas that I am putting together that I need to do for reopening the shop and planning of more products. I have another one back here that is set up for it. And then any of my story notes or any other ideas I can take in here. And like here, I've been looking at manufacturing, more brain dumping of stuff. So those will be able to go into books as I start putting enough together to put into one of those files. But this stays on my desk. It doesn't travel with me. Now, I wouldn't mind if Plotter put together some sort of wallet system that works with their planners, that's RFID protected from my cards. It has an ID pocket, cash envelopes, change envelopes. So I would probably carry this with me if they had all of those, so that I can always have something with me to put notes in. But right now, I don't. I don't get into this every day. So it is not part of my Techo Kaigi. It's part of my business organization. This book that I showed you earlier, this is what I have been putting all of my information that I have started with doing Reeves Doodles. All of my research, you have seen me go into this multiple different times. Any note taking, anybody I've talked to, what I have figured out, what I have come across that's been, oh my gosh, are you serious? I've got more, of course, note rooms. And I'm working right now on a operations manual, so I've got stuff like that in here. I have different brands of product manufacturing that I want to do. That, again, is all for the business, but this is also something that I want to come back to you guys with and to be able to sit down and talk business with you guys of what I did, why I did it, and the changes. But it's not something that I get into every day. So it's not a Techo Kaigi. Both of these are for my business. But because I do not need to get into them to do anything on a regular basis, it is not my Techo Kaigi. These are. Now I have this off to the side, and I purposely pulled it because this stays on my desk. I write notes. Like here, I am doing a restructuring of the business filing system. So I'm making notes so that I don't forget to come back to them. I will tell you, this is not, I am an artist. I am not a technical mind. I like staying organized, but when it comes to different things like this, no. So yes, I'm going to admit, ChatGPT is helping me. And because of that, I'm not spending hours trying to figure out what I need when he can do it in minutes. So again, that's going to be for another later day. I will talk with you about that when I start talking with you about business. But that stays on my desk behind my keyboard on a regular basis. It is not part of my Techo Kaigi. So you can see how all of this has now gone back to just 2 items. This one is something I get into every day for work, every single day, except for the weekends, unless I am working on a project for the weekend. This one is my memory keeping, and this one is for logging everything that's going on every single day. So that is my Techo Kaigi. I'm hoping that this helped you. I hope this was not too long of a video for you, but I do hope that this gave you some ideas as to why some things are Techo Kaigi and other things are not, so that you can help separate that in your own mind of what you need, so that you're not just buying because people say buy. No, you need to find what's with you. Now, on the next video, because we are going into the new planner for 2027 events, I'm going to break down one more time and find my planning system. Pretty sure I've already found it. I hope this helped. I will see you in the next one, and hopefully it won't take me 3 months to get that one out. It won't, I promise. It will come out next Monday. Take care, and thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a great day. Happy August when I see you next.